PETplanet stand, which is on the South Hall, level 1 of the bottle zone, and it's very close to the presenting stage, which is S12107. And you'll find a lot of information about NPE on the front page of the PETplanet Insider website, which is at petpla.net, PETPLA.net. Among the companies that will be presenting at NPE this year are ICIS, Erema, and SEPA on the first day, Reuters, Kronos, and SACME on the second day, and PTI, KHS, and Maguire on the third day. But back to today, as I said earlier, we have some experts in the field who really put me in the shade. We're going to start with Damaris Piraino, who's Senior Director of Trade Show Marketing of the Plastics Industry Association. She joined the PIA nearly 2 years ago, and she's got a very interesting background. And Damaris will be giving us an overview of the NPE show and the bottle zone in particular. Sandrine Reboux is Senior Marketing Manager for Personal Care, Home Care Markets, and Digitalization at Avient EMEA. Now, Sandrine holds a master's degree in physics and chemistry from the Sorbonne in Paris. And that's a university I think most of us have heard of, if not all of us. And by contrast, I attended the University of Wales, Trinity St. David's, and even I haven't heard of it. Now, she will be talking about design for recyclability and Avient's color prediction service. And Avient will be on South Hall, level 2, in room S210. Scott Heins, Director of Sales and Marketing at Intravis Inc, has a history of developing and implementing strategic sales and marketing initiatives across the Americas. His topic today is quality control advancements that will be unveiled at NPE. And they have a stand at level 1 of the expo hall, S15063, and it's in the bottle zone. And finally, we'll be hearing from an old friend of ours, Paolo Donardi. He's the product manager, stretch blow molding at SEPA, and he'll be covering expertise in design and manufacturing, emphasizing economic viability and sustainability. Always good value. I'm looking forward to hearing what he has to say again. Now, SEPA is on level 1 in the expo hall, S19096 in the bottle zone. Right, Damaris Piraino, Senior Director, Trade Show Marketing at Plastics Industry Association, joined the PIA nearly 2 years ago. She holds a degree in marketing, spent 3 years in the White House in President Obama's Office of Presidential Correspondence. And since then, she's worked in marketing and events organization and management. Damaris will be giving us an overview of the NPE show and the bottle zone in particular. Pretty much all the information you've received about NPE this year has been touched or authorized or come directly from the pen of Damaris. So Damaris, very welcome. Looking forward to hearing what you have to say.
Thank you. Excited to be here today. We are less than 2 weeks away from NPE, and we're excited to welcome everyone to Orlando. I'm going to cover what we have planned and hopefully answer a couple questions you might have about the show. First, for those that aren't familiar with NPE, NPE is the largest plastics trade show in the Americas. The show floor spans 1.2 million net square feet and boasts over 2,200 exhibiting companies with more than 800 first-time exhibitors. Attendees come to the show from all across the United States, and more than 125 countries will be represented on site. This year's show features more education than ever before, with more than 150 education sessions and 210 speakers. We continue to showcase our commitment to sustainability, and for 2024, we will feature more than 10,500 square feet of recycling demonstrations. Also new this year is our NPE Sustainability Hub, where attendees will experience the plastic circular economy to include everything from raw materials to go-to-market consumer products. We're also very excited to have 2 keynote speakers. The first on Monday is Michael Chico, President and CEO of Fanuc America Corporation, who will discuss robotics, AI, and automation in the new tech era. And Michael Heins on Wednesday, Chair and CEO of BASF, will address the road to shaping a sustainable future. Both keynotes are expected to be very well attended, so if you're planning to attend either of those, please make sure to get there early to get a good seat. Before I dive into discussing the bottle zone, I'm going to share a quick video. Hopefully everyone can hear it. The bottle zone, which we just saw in that video, is the largest of 6 technology zones at NPE. It features a wide variety of equipment and services designed to manufacture plastic bottles, PET preforms, blow molding machinery, molds, labeling, filling, caps and closures, bottle design, and of course, inspection equipment. This year's Bottle Zone includes 100 exhibitors showcasing the latest technologies in bottling and containers, and is home to the Beer Garden sponsored by NIFI ASB. I'm excited to share that all of the beer cups used in the Beer Garden will be produced on site by NIFI and then recycled in our recycling demo area on site. So attendees will get to see the cups being made and then enjoy them in the Beer Garden, and then they'll be recycled in the demo area. If you're not a fan of beer, don't worry, the Beer Garden has more than just beer. There's hard ciders, water, and sodas for anyone that might want something other than beer. The Beer Garden opens at 11 a.m. each day and closes at 5 p.m. Monday through Thursday. On Friday, the Beer Garden will close a little bit earlier at 2 o'clock. As I mentioned earlier, the Bottle Zone features 100 exhibitors. Here are just a few of them. I won't read through all of this because that would take quite some time, but wanted to show this list just so you all can get a better understanding of who's going to be at the show. I've bolded a couple people that you might recognize from today's webinar, as well as our Beer Garden sponsor. The majority of the recycling for the Bottle Zone will take place in booth S35209, thanks to the support of Conair. But we also have an outdoor recycling center in the Westwood parking lot that features WIMA and commercial plastics recycling. Conair will have a TEC grinder feed with an integrated S&S metal detector, a high-performance granulator, and a Conglide air wash separation system on site. Our goal for 2024 is to divert 100% of the plastic scrap produced on site. Bottling stage. New for 2024 is our bottling stage, which is also located in the Bottle Zone next to the Beer Garden. The bottling stage will feature daily presentations on a wide variety of topics. Each session will be between 30 minutes to an hour long, and the education stage features silent technology. For the very first time, this is new, we'll be able to use your personal headphones to listen in to the session. So if you're running late, you can open up the mobile app, click on a link and listen to the session. Or if the floor is a little bit loud, pull out your headphones and connect directly to the session. So really excited to see attendees use that feature this year. And make sure to pack headphones when you're packing for NPE. Next, we just have a couple can't miss sessions. I know Rory mentioned some earlier in the intro, but here are a couple more. First is the American and International PET market session on Tuesday. Attendees will get to learn about the key drivers of the U.S. rPET industry and the newest PET recycling technology from ARIMA for the U.S. and international plastics recycling industry. Next, we have sustainability in numbers, accounting for PET's life cycle impact on Wednesday. This in-depth analysis of PET packaging focuses on sustainability and data-driven insights to showcase PET's low environmental footprint and recycling strengths. And then lastly, we have bottle making, filling and capping of PET bottles, where you'll discover how a closed plastic loop can be achieved and implemented, plus hear the advantages of independent mold makers. And that's a wrap. We really hope to see everyone in Orlando. If you have not yet registered, please feel free to redeem a free expo pass on me using promo code PETplanet in all caps. It is case sensitive at npe.org.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. That's great. We're going to go straight on to hear from Sandrine Reboux. Now, we will have time for a little bit of time for questions at the end, but we will do them all at the end. So if you have a question, please write it down or submit it via the normal route, and we will take them at the end. But moving on to Sandrine, she is Senior Marketing Manager for Personal Care, Home Care Markets, and Digitalization at Avient EMEA. Now, she holds a master's degree in physics and chemistry from Sorbonne in Paris. I think I mentioned that. And she is going to be talking specifically about design for recyclability and Avient's color prediction service. You'll be able to visit Avient at South Hall Level 2 in meeting rooms, room S210. Sandrine, over to you. Thanks very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you, Rory. Hello, everybody. So let's jump in right away into the presentation. So today I will highlight around design for recyclability. Then I will touch about some solution we have in our portfolio to enhance recycled material properties or increase PCR content. Then I will touch base about carbon footprint targets, and then, of course, at the end, finalize with a key takeaway and some highlights around the next plastic show NPE that will be held in the US in May. So when we talk about, let's start with design for recyclability. It's important is to keep in mind that the full packaging with decoration and artworks need to be considered. The recyclability of a pack is not limited only to the resin used or the color chosen. All of the other features, such as the size, the label, the adhesive, and the inks used, can have an impact on the sorting and the circularity of the packaging. Design for recycling guidelines from APR in the US or Recyclas and EPBP in Europe can help choose the best alternative to ensure compatibility with the main recycling stream, but we know the one available in the globe are PE, polypropylene, and PET, and of course give some insight to move from multi-material to mono-material that are easier to recycle. So why design for recyclability is so important? First, to ensure that the bale after sorting are the less contaminated possible. Contamination can come from any kind of features. It can be a mix of a polymer that is actually going for different wrong recycling stream. A PE can actually end up in a polypropylene recycling stream and will create contamination and decrease the mechanical properties. It will impact the overall quality of the recyclates. The use of certain additives or inks can create specks of discoloration. In PET, we know that the IV index is critical. So all of these features are critical to be taken care upfront to ensure the best practice and help improve throughput and the quality of the recycled grade that the converter will use afterwards. This leads me to the converter side. Converters are focusing on optimizing line speed, managing scrap, and making the most consistent and the most beautiful part as possible. All of this is very difficult when you add the PCR into the equation. Challenges that the converter meet are slower throughput. I will not go through all the list that is on the screen, but I will highlight some of them, like inconsistent rheology. The molding process is more complicated. Reduce of the mechanical properties. The drop test is impacted. Odor, especially in polyolefin. So all of this is coming from actually the PCR we are using and the material and the design for recycling that has been used upfront. So how at Avient we have organized our portfolio based on 3 pillars: reduce, renew, and preserve. All of the 3 pillars have subcategory, and today I will focus on renew and some of our recycle solution. Of course, I cannot highlight everything. I will highlight 2 of them. So how do we enable sustainability through our renew portfolio? Renew regroup our solution to increase recycled content and minimize plastic waste. Today, the key challenges to increase recycled content in the final part are coming from the PCR availability and the quality. There is not enough good quality grade for every application. This makes it difficult to incorporate into a circular loop. For example, the quality of the PET is decreasing over time, becoming more yellow and more dirty. PCR color variability is also a very critical part, especially for polyolefin. There is undertone, there is opacity that are drastic to add into a next color application. So all of this is very critical, especially for personal care or cosmetic application. Last challenge, the carbon footprint targets and the need to increase transparency and in sustainability claims, sorry. So let's start with the first challenge of PCR availability and quality. First, I want to highlight, when we talk about PCR quality, I want to highlight one of our innovation center, which is actually a mini simulation plant or mini recycling plant, when we can simulate recycling process. We call it CycleWorks. It's located in Merate in Italy. So first of all, we use it internally to screen and evaluate the impact of our additive and some of our colorant system into the recycling process. We can run recycling trial according to standard recycling protocols such as APR or Recyclas. For example, lately we run a trial with some of our UV additive CISA portfolio to make sure that they comply with the protocol of Recyclas. We also use it externally to support innovation and work to solve major issues. It can be used for polyethylene application or polyester application. In polyethylene, for example, we work a lot on odor scavenging and stress cracking additive solution. Most importantly, we want to use it also to provide a collaborative platform for our customer, where we can run R&D project together to make sure that we understand and measure the quality of the PCR over time and lead to solutions for the future. So now let's move on to a concrete example on how Avient solution can help improve the quality of recycled PET. Here I will focus about one of our range product, which is called Colorimetrix Optica Process Head and Toner for Bottle. This is mostly used in packaging, food and beverage application. In PET, the addition of recycled resin tend to reduce or discolor the crystal clarity that the PET is known for. The usage of toner is frequent to compensate the yellowness of the recycled PET. Indeed, the human eyes perceive yellowness as dirty or hazy, while blue light is seen as cleaner and clearer. This is why we're adding actually toner to compensate the undertone and the yellow tone of the recycled resin. The axis yellow-blue is identified here as the B star you see on the top graph. The higher the B goes, the B star goes, the more blue the color becomes. So of course, when you have a high amount of recycled PET, you want to compensate that yellow tone, and you will add toner to try to make it equivalent to before. Overall, this is leading to an increase of amount of toner into the recycling sink because the quality of the PCR is decreasing. Optica toner, which is a range that we have developed especially to support the circularity of PET, recycled PET, are formulated with heat stable products. So they don't degrade over time and they don't contribute to increase the yearliness of the recycling process. This product, the product we use in our Optica range, are screened through 2 full recycle loops, and we can see that actually the B star remain fully stable over time and don't generate any undertone for the future. Additionally, our Optica range are boosted with another technology called SmartHeat. SmartHeat is actually a technology that helps us increase optimization of the polymer weight distribution on the bottle, as you can see on the top graph here. And this will help overall improve the mechanical strength of the bottle. This is particularly critical, of course, when you have a high amount of recycled resin into the final part. After focusing on the additive performance, let's now move on another tool or services that we are offering to our customer, which is our color prediction tool. So color prediction tool is is an awarded technology from 2023. We got 2 awards in US and in Europe highlighting the support we give to our customer with this service. And overall, the prediction tool help us understand upfront any color development, if a color will be possible or not in a given resin recycle. What you see on the screen here, it's what we call gamut. And what is a gamut is actually the color ability of a resin. So the bigger the gamut is, the most color possibility you will have in your polymer. So here you can see easily on the screen that on the left side, the gamut is huge. You know, you can do a bright yellow lemon color if you want. And it's not surprising because it's a virgin HDPE resin here that we see on the screen. On the right side on the screen, you see a gamut which is much more darker and much more smaller. So if you want to do this bright yellow from before, you can see right away that there is actually no equivalence. So the intrinsic properties of the material and the color of the material is not allowing us to develop any kind of color that are bright due to the specificity of the resin. So when we look at a little bit working more with color, we can see that if we can measure the gamut on any kind of resin upfront any trial, we can actually tell to our customer right away, this color will be possible or this color will not be possible. And how we do that? We kind of plug the color to do into the gamut of the resin. And if the color is outside of the gamut, like the green here, the dot where the red arrow is, we can tell right away that the color will not be possible. If the dot is inside the gamut, we can ensure the customer that the color will be possible. So all of this, it's done digitally prior any kind of trial or iteration made in the lab. So this is super powerful when we work with brands to tell them right away, you have 10 colors to develop. We can tell you upfront if a color will be possible or not. This is an example actually of what I'm talking about now. This color, this is a gamut of a resin that it's American resin, to which we developed the color in our labs in West Chicago in US. So of course, because they developed the color, all the colors are possible in the given recycled PET here. Moving to Europe, because this is a global brand, the customer wants, of course, have the same color for the European consumer. We can see right away that the gamut of the resin of the recycled PET European is much more smaller. Right away, we can see it, just based on the measurement here. So we know already, and we can already give some highlight to our customer, some of the color will be complicated or not possible in the equivalent resin in Europe. The prediction tool is giving us this result that you see on the screen with the distance here, and the distance is giving us the the flexibility we have after for the color. So we can actually tell to the customer right away, compromise or not are needed for the future. Another way to show the prediction tool, the dots are inside possible, the dots are outside not possible. So as a conclusion, prediction tool is a great tool to use to help you frame the color space available for a given resin. I will now move to the last part of the presentation and focus a little bit more on the carbon footprint, the measurement of the carbon footprint. So we can measure the carbon footprint of our product using the standard ISO 14067 from 2018. So to do so, we are actually measuring the Scope 1 emission, Scope 2, and Scope 3 emission. This helps us to indicate to our customer what will be the equivalent CO2 emission from the colorant or additive they use from our side. Knowing that, we can actually after give some insight on how to decrease the CO2 emission, for example, using a recycled carrier material, and they can our customer can make educated choices for the future. As a conclusion, key takeaway from this presentation. So, of course, there is a lot of challenging when using PCR, whatever it is, PET, polyethylene, or polypropylene, but there is solution. There are not maybe, some of them are still in development, but there is solution. For availability, for quality of the PCR, we have performance additive portfolio that can support. For color variation, our prediction tool is a great tool to help you understand upfront if a color will be possible or not. And of course, if you want to understand the impact of your product portfolio, we can measure the carbon footprint of the colorants. I will conclude this presentation with our presence, and we will be, of course, here at the NPE 2024 in next May in the US. And we are taking advantage of this great show to educate and share some learning with you. So if you are attending the show, please feel free to register with this QR code or directly on the Avient website to assist to this presentation. There is 3 days intense of learning and sharing, so very good tips and insight to learn if we can be present at the show.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you, Sandrine. That was very interesting. And Sandrine is known for focusing on identifying differentiated and innovative solutions to support collaboration along the value chain and embrace the challenges of the circular economy. It says here, I must confess, I did not actually make that up. That is some of the research that I found out. But thank you very much indeed for that, Sandrine. And we have a couple of questions to ask you later if we have sufficient time. But now moving on, Scott Heins is the Director of Sales and Marketing at Intravis Incorporated. He has a strong history of working in the industrial automation industry and is described as skilled in developing and implementing strategic sales and marketing initiatives to drive growth in the North and South American market. And he's specialized in promoting vision inspection systems tailored for the specific needs of the plastic packaging industry. Now, can I just also mention, if you do want to ask questions, then you should find the chat function under the 3 dots highlighted more on your screen. By all means, put your questions. We'll answer them at the end. Scott's topic today is quality control advancements that will be unveiled at NPE. I presume that he means particularly Intravis's quality control advancements. Now, Intravis's stand is on the South Hall, in the South Hall, on level 1, the Expo Hall, stand S15063 in the bottle zone. Scott, welcome. I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say.
Okay, thanks for the introduction, Rory. And we'll head right into the presentation. So I am dialing in today from Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm working for Intravis Inc, which is the US subsidiary of Intravis based in Germany. And as a quick introduction, our company is focused on vision inspection equipment for plastic packaging. And at the show, we'll be showing products from four of our main areas of focus for the inspection of preforms, labeled and decorated parts, caps and closures, and bottles and containers. So a quick review of our layout at the show. As mentioned, we'll be in the South Hall inside the bottle zone, not too far from the beer garden, which is very important, and Damaris talked about that. So in our booth in the South Hall, we'll have systems for label and bottle inspection on display. And when you walk over to the West Hall, this is where most of the injection molding giants have booths. And we have equipment in 4 locations there, in the Netstall, Millicron, Husky, and Arborg booths. And I'll show you some of the details of what to expect there. So in the area of cap inspection, we'll be showing some new benchmarks in performance in that industry. And we'll be very proud to be a part of this project. And at the show, you'll be able to witness a world record cap line. And Netstall, in cooperation with Z-Molds, has introduced a new benchmark to the industry. And they're promoting a 128 cavity machine with a cycle time of 1.9 seconds. So I wanted to pause on that for a moment, just to think about the speeds that are involved now. We're talking about 4,000 caps a minute and continuously running for 24 hours. That's 5.8 million caps per day. So what you'll see from Intravis in this booth is we're responsible for the entire downstream out of the molder. So we're providing the takeout conveyor, the cross conveyor, cooling conveyor, cap feeding system, which is responsible for single filing caps for inspection. And our flagship Cap Watcher Q will be running in the booth. And post-inspection, we're packaging and diverting into 2 gaylords. So as our part of the project, we advanced the inspection speeds up to 80 caps per second for 2 reasons. First is to handle surge speeds on the downstream, and also to have some room for further improvements in cycle time that may be happening. And we're showing our very latest system. And at these incredible speeds, we're doing a full 360-degree inspection of the closures, as well as the inside and outside. And there were several innovations needed to achieve these speeds and do a reliable inspection. I'll review a few of those. First is on the part handling side. So feeding into the unit, we have a dual star wheel separation system. And this is a way to very precisely and at very high speeds to singulate and separate the parts coming into the inspection system. And this replaces the older technologies using side belts, which require some compression of the closures, which can slow you down and affect the precision. Second, we'll be showing is our temperature measurement that's integrated to the system. And this offers even more value at these high speeds. Every closure has a temperature reading that's correlated to the data for that inspection. So this information can be used to study and to monitor the cap shrinkage behavior, how the dimensions of the closure are changing relative to the temperature. And it's also a way to monitor if issues occur in the cooling process on the molding machine. And third is a patented innovation that Intravis developed for a non-contact microhole inspection. So it's a standard to do a microhole inspection of the gate for injection molded closures. And with a non-contact method, this allows us to achieve much higher speeds, and it eliminates the need for, I call it the spokes of a wheel, to go down and inside of the closure to do this high voltage check. Okay, on from cap inspection. Now we'll talk about systems in decoration inspection. So we'll be part of a really innovative and really interesting new development on display at the show for in-mold labeling, or IML, of medical parts. And this will be inside the Arberg booth, West Hall 3743. So what is the purpose of IML in the medical industry? Well, this is meant to really replace the prior process where labeling would be done as a separate process. And this integrates it all into one system. Another really interesting development is it's a temperature sensitive label with RFID capability as well. So the labels are provided from MCC Verstrata, and our cameras are integrated within the automation system provided from Beck Automation. So this really fits the sustainability theme. So the product is completely produced within a single machine. It's a very controlled process. Make sure it's in a hygienic machine, so it makes sure that the hygiene is maintained, and it provides much better traceability and sustainability. So real interesting innovation that would be really great to see at the show. And dialing into looking a little closer at the inspection of these parts. So as mentioned, Beck is providing the handling of the parts and presenting them for our inspection. And really here we're meaning to highlight that the Intravis theme is to really do more than just eject bad parts. So we're collecting data for every single part, and we're providing trend monitoring in our software, so that you're able to monitor the process and see if things are trending in a wrong direction to get a warning before defects are created. Furthermore, we have our latest software that can be fully compliant with medical requirements for equipment of our type. This would be 21 CFR 11 compliance. And our solution is fully integrated within the Beck automation to very much reduce the footprint of the system. Looking a little closer at what we're inspecting on this part, of course, label presence, as well as label identity, verifying it's the correct label. There's the inspection of blow-bys, which is a common defect possibility for IML, where the plastic is overmolding the label. We can check if the label may be placed perfectly, but there'd be a possibility for the print to be offset. So that's a print to cut inspection. And we're doing a full inspection of that label surface for contamination, print errors, or other visual deviations. And beyond inspecting the label, we're inspecting the part quality as well. So we are looking at the seal surface to look for defects there, as well as the diameter and ovality of that opening. And we're doing a thread measurement from the side. And we have a second IML inspection system at the show in the Millicron booth, West Hall 1601. I don't have images to show in this presentation, but this is also an interesting application for co-injection of large pails. So following the sustainability theme, they are planning to show this Moldmasters technology that can achieve up to 50% recycled material in that core layer. And our part is we're integrated within the Beck automation, doing the IML and the handling for these parts. And we're inspecting this full wrap 360-degree label that will be present on the pails. Furthermore, in label inspection in our booth, in the bottle zone, we'll be showing our Label Watcher 360 technology. And this is a product, we've had a product for many years, but this has been completely revamped and redesigned as of last year. And the technology is to inspect unoriented parts coming down a conveyor line and using software to confirm the orientation and do the inspection. And we're expanding this beyond the inspection of just round parts into different product shapes that can come into the system randomly. And this system will be running continuously in a loop conveyor in our booth, so you can see it running. And part of the inspection as well is code reading, where the software will identify the proper code regardless of the location on the label. And if we look at the inspection criteria, it's really very similar to the medical application, but here we're also adding special lighting to really highlight folds, bubbles, wrinkles, and also newer software to inspect the label joint between where the wrap label is combining around the product, as well as code reading in any orientation. And a real big part of this development is in the ease of use of the system. We call it the Wizard Assistant 360 degrees. So the system is guiding a novice operator on how to set up a new product from scratch. And also mechanically, it's really interesting that part of the process is installing a small turntable. The operator puts a part in the center of it, and then it's an automated process where the turntable is rotating and teaching the various orientations to the system software, making it much easier to set up and operate. All right, furthermore, in the Intravis booth, we have a new bottle inspection system, and this is from our Spot Watcher product line. This, of course, would be non-labeled containers. And there are two main components. First is a change in the frame design. So you'll see some updated visuals, but it's much more than the change of the looks of the system. So inside the machine, there's a lot of work being done to make the mechanical portion of the inspections modular. Now, we've always had modular software where you can pick and choose and combine different inspections on a system. And this extends that to the mechanical side. So we have standard mounting and then standardized assemblies for each of the inspections that are done. And the purpose is to be much more efficient in the production process and to be able to ship machines with a shorter lead time. Quick review of the common inspections for bottles, material defects, such as contamination, gels, other defects, ability to detect thick or thin walls using specialized lighting, color inspection, not just for color shift in the bottle, but for color streaks, the options to do body and neck flash inspection, checking the neck opening, like we talked about for the medical part, thread dimensions, and becoming more and more common in the bottle field for us is cavity number reading. And this has been standard for many years for caps and preforms, and it's becoming much more common for bottle inspection. And this is a really powerful tool to correlate all the inspection data to the mold number on the blow molding machine. And finally, last but not least, in the Husky booth, again in the West Hall 2801, we will have a new preform inspection system. So we're not really revealing details about this system at this time. So I'd really encourage you to visit the Husky booth and see it yourself. But suffice it to say, we'll have an integrated inspection for preforms, and it's really meant to support all the major industry goals like higher sustainability, greater use of rPET, more production monitoring, and closed loop inspection. So please come have a look. And we look forward to seeing you at the show in 1.5 short weeks. And we will have personnel on hand in all of our partner booths as well as our own. And we are looking forward to seeing you.
Okay, Scott, that's great. Thank you very much indeed, and especially for your ever so subtle and courteous correction of my pronunciation of the company name. Intravis is what I will call it from now on, not Intravis. I got that wrong. But anyway, looking forward, we have a few questions, particularly about speed, I notice, that we'll take at the end, if assuming we have the time. And now we're moving on to Paolo Donardi, who's product manager, stretch blow molding at SIPA, and he's going to be covering expertise in design and manufacturing, and emphasizing the economic viability and sustainability of packaging production equipment. And that's a subject in which he's well qualified. He received a degree in materials engineering at Padua University in 2003, and he joined SIPA in the same year. He has over 18 years experience in packaging development and machine development in industrial goods production. And his experience includes R&D, product development, as well as sales and marketing. Now, in his current position, he manages new developments in both linear and rotary stretch blow molding. And he also manages the packaging development team to optimize beverage bottles and innovate special containers. Very busy bloke, all told. Paolo, thanks for sparing us the time. Looking forward to hearing what you have to say.
Thank you, Rory. Thank you for the people attending this event. Very nice to be here to talk about what's happening in a couple of weeks in Orlando, Florida. And that's our contribution in order to shape the success, differentiating the packaging. And we are here because SIPA is a pretty unique company in this market on PET. We can cover 360 degrees, all the steps of the packaging development, prototyping, to provide production of tooling, supplying of system, down to the complete line management. That's the way to manage all the PET, the complexity from design to optimization of the operations. Our approach is to provide solution to differentiate packaging, because packaging is, of course, very important, super important for a lot of products there are in the market. And what is our contribution is to apply all the best design feature, either from a technical or aesthetic and attractive point of view, and providing the weight saving, sustainability solution, weight reduction, our recycled PET in order to reduce carbon footprint of the containers that we can deliver to the market. Few examples are coming on the special packaging, and the special packaging there are on the growing trends. Comparing to analyzing the data of this year, we see that some niche area compared to the huge beverage market, but niche area like spirits, home care, or beauty and personal care packaging are already today producing a big number of billions units per year, like 30 billions on the spirit, 100 billion on home care, even 160 on the personal care. Some of them are producing rigid plastic. Some of the rigid plastic is produced on PET. Of course, a lot of spirits, and of course, not a lot of market share for PET in the home personal care packaging. However, we see that the growth that is on these three categories are a lot driven by PET. PET is growing well above the total packaging growth in these three categories. And even if these are niche, we can estimate that this slide is covering just for the growth more than 200 blower per year in these three segments. So injection and blowing covering these PET growth are there in the market, and we are ready to support to find solutions for our customers. The system that we can provide is to produce the preform with X-form, to blow the container with a small linear machine or big rotary extra machine, or even the integration of the two technology like ESBM, so our ECSSP, to produce the container right from the PET pellet. On the booth, if you're coming to visit us, we will show you extra 10, so a 10 cavity producing oval container with our PH stands for preferential heating. It's our technical solution to produce asymmetric container for different range of application, and we will demonstrate some, and we'll talk later if Rory give me a couple of minutes to go in the focus detail of this preferential heating. As well, we will have a smaller Now our new baby, a small machine, SFL Flex, just 2 cavity, big as a table in a meeting room, suitable for number of applications for special packaging development. So rotary machine is featuring a lot of key point talking about quality, having the best process angle, precise and consistent system, very simple preform handling in order to assure the quality of the container, but also the flexibility. We're pointing a lot on these in order to have the possibility to produce one packaging, but also the other packaging, in order to allow the possibility to switch from one market segment to another market segment. It's the case of the hot fill or cold fill. It's the case of preferential heating for all oval or rectangular container. Is the family getting bigger and bigger with the extra big, so to have a possibility to blow even bigger, much bigger container, 12 liter. Of course, with all the flexibility on the resin. We heard a lot about recycled PET, of course, additives, colorants, other polyolefin polymers, bio-based resin, or are possible with this platform. The target, of course, is to reduce the cost, the total cost of ownership, with the best output in the market, low maintenance, and the possibility to use existing molds, for example. Sustainability, key driver together with the cost, is assured by energy saving feature either in the oven or in the blowing system. And all in all, it's easy because, of course, we know the complexity of the machine must live together with the simplicity of the use of the machine. So everything must be intuitive, simple, quick to understand what's going on and to assure the best quality throughout the 24 hours, 360 days per year. Few snapshot on the flexibility, moving from hot fill to cold fill. So the same machine can run at the maximum speed with hot fill and the maximum speed with cold fill. No compromise on that. Heating elements are provided by electric cartridge. We can use even legacy shell mold. And the fact to move from one to the other is just a matter of changing the blow mold. It's easy because it's quick to change the blow mold, and it's simple to operate to make the few activities that are needed, either toolless or very simple quick change feature. Let's dive a little bit more on what will be on the booth. So the preferential heating, it's a machine to produce oval container like this flask bottle that you can grab one on our booth, where we have the best output thanks to the architecture of our machine, even for complex bottle, very high speed. High quality, so the uneven heating that is required to produce this oval container is assured with our new preferential heating system that we will demonstrate. It's flexible because it can produce any kind of oval or square container, but also round or rectangular, just changing the blow mold and the HMI parameter on the machine, so software control. Very high output per cavity in the market, the best for us, in our opinion, and the capabilities to stretch from small bottle, big bottle, super light neck, super wide neck, and super oval container. As well, I like to share what is possible as a big, because of one of the potential that I was mentioning is home care, and some home care is requiring very huge container, like a 5 liter, 10 liter, 12 liter. So the possibility to have a dedicated machine for very big container, very reliable, solid experience on that with SIPA. It's more than 15 years that we are mastering this big size container. We have applying a clean and safe condition. It's compatible, however, this machine, and can provide the best output based on the cavity, up to 12 liter, so very, very big container. In a nutshell, Extra can guarantee the lower TCO from our perspective, so reducing by 15% the TCO on the normal operation, drop the energy consumption by 25% versus our previous generation, increasing the speed, so providing higher output than market standard, and having a very quick 30 seconds, just half of the time that I needed to share this slide is require to change a blow mold by a normal operator. Then let's go to the linear machine. Linear machine stands for smaller but more flexible. At the end, we introduced this as a flex that is exactly the solution to produce all these kind of standard, but mainly special container. Can be a hot fill, can be oval, can be strange shape or a strange resin, all in a two-cavity machine. And so we are here to share a little bit about the possibility to run small to medium production run in a small and flexible system. Very high quality output. This is our standard with the SFL family, pretty known in the market for this. It's versatile, can be matching any kind of preform entering the machine and produce into cavity up to 3 liters, so a very nice 4,000 bottle per hour on this machine, or even 5 liter in single cavity. Some other news or notice key point on this machine is the fact that it's compact, very space saving, and I have the possibility to add on kit to enlarge the possibility of new packaging. Flexibility assure the possibility to use existing blow mold for any kind of machine. Our brand mold or other OEM or even other mold producer can fit into this blow molding machine, making the perfect fit to produce bottle with a state-of-art technology using existing current blow mold. Then give me 2 more minutes. Okay, I think I'm on time, talking about one of the most important things in life, that is how to cook. So how to, for Italian, sorry, of course, it's how to cook, how to prepare properly a preform in order to become a bottle. And that's the way how we are applying the preferential heating. So a lot of flexibility in adding the right temperature, the right cooking process, full driven by the HMI control. So it's a way to have cylindrical heating, so a standard heating, but it's of course useful, or even in oval container, because in every oval container there is an area where this portion is cylindrical. So we needed to have this cylindrical heating, but as well we have the preferential heating, or to match the oval heating. So to apply a special thermal profile, symmetric at 180 degrees. And that's the way to enlarge, to make a very nice oval container with a proper thickness distribution throughout the section, top view section of the bottle. Mix all together, of course, create the very perfect bottle, having a cylindrical and oval heating matched together to provide the final best thickness distribution. More than this, our system is having 2 more dimensions. One is the possibility to apply differentiated heating on the left and the right part of the oven. So not just preferential, but also differentiated left to right. And this is creating a different thickness based on the desire or based on the packaging, based on a special off-center neck configuration, or a super strange single side thickness distribution that I want to achieve because my packaging is complex and is requiring this kind of heating, or even cooling, because we can apply the 5th dimension as a dedicated air cooling unbalance between the 2 sides, left and right, to get exactly the same result, but in a different way, because air cooling or direct cooling is different. The direct heating or air cooling is different, is providing different results. All in all combined, of course, this provides the best way to cook properly our preform. All these parameters are stored in HMI, so it's very simple, and to create a repeatable process, to restore every time the right configuration for this process. Few words on smart feature like Process Wizard. Our machines are equipped with this automatic process configuration. Come to see in our booth to discover more, also some more control on the heating with a lot of system to detect exactly the thermal profile of the preform and keep it stable in order to maintain the quality throughout the day and night and month and summer and winter. Okay, here we are. So we know that complex packaging is on a growing trend. There is a nice wave on that. We have a number of solutions and the possibility to make it in a smooth and sustainable way. Thank you. Ready to meet you all.
Thanks, Paolo. We haven't got much time for questions, but I'll start with one that is actually for you, and that is, how do you see the growth? How do you see growth for carbonated soft drinks and water for PET in the US in particular? With the question.
Well, the carbonated water, we know it's declining. US in particular, but many areas of the world. So carbonated is going down. Water is continuous trend to grow. There is a trend for differentiating. So not only the classic on-the-go half-liter or 20-ounce container to be lighter and lighter, but also the big container, 5-liter, 10-liter, 12-liter, as I mentioned, but also the 5-gallon are all booming around the world. US is a confirmation of this.
All right. Okay, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. Scott, can I ask you? We had a question about speed. Now, those speeds that you mentioned are really nothing less than sensational already. Now, is there any room left to go any faster?
Well, I mean, what I would say is that Intravis is always working to be on the forefront of speed. And we have the advantage of having full control of our software and our designs to achieve it. So we are going to follow the market needs no matter what. And when we launched the cap RGQ, the benchmark at that time was 60 caps per second. And now we've achieved advancements to get it to 80. So, of course, we are going to follow the market needs.
Right. Okay. That's right. So yeah, if the market wants it to go faster, you're going to make it go faster. Is that fair?
Yeah, fair to say.
Okay. Right. Could I come back to Sandrine, please? Now, Color Matrix Optica. Now, how will this product behave in subsequent recycling processes? Can residues or other reactions occur? I have been asked.
The Optica range have been tested for NIAS, so I forgot the intensive. Sorry, I forgot the name of the word of NIAS. Let me find it. So it has been tested multiple, in diverse ways. So there is no very limited impurity. It's food contact, of course. So no expected limited impact on the recycling stream, I would say.
Right. Okay. And I've also just been asked by Josh Turner, have you investigated how the influence of the or unless I've just actually asked you that, have I just asked you about how the influence of the toner may change the heating or forming behavior of the preform during the stretch blow molding process when compared to rPET without toner? Is that clear? Is that,
yeah?
Okay.
Yeah, the formulation has been improved, and we have selected a great amount of let's say pigment used in it to make sure that the process is the most stable and the blowing process is more uniform, I would say. So overall, the more Optica have been specifically developed for improve mechanical properties and improve process performance.
Right. Okay. Scott, now you're with Intravis in the US. Now, which inspection technologies are particularly important for the American beverage market? Do you see it as different from the rest of the world, or different from Europe, or different from Australasia?
I think a big difference is a lot of the speed advancements are driven from the US market. And for example, in the cap area, these installations have been installed and proven in the US market. As far as the range of inspections, it's pretty common worldwide. People are looking to do the same things to monitor the process.
Right. Okay. Paolo, do you see the American market as, is it something that you have to make special arrangements for? Do you have to design any special machinery or processes for the US market as compared with the rest of the world?
Yeah, I would say that always US market has been a source of creativity, or at least the question are creative and our answer are creative as well, in order to support new packaging, special application to support special packaging, because of course differentiation in US market is pretty important. Yes.
Okay. Right, undoubtedly important, but sometimes things are different. For example, they drive on the right there. I don't know if you knew that. They speak English, but they drive on the right-hand side of the road. Very strange, very strange. Now for Sandrine, what is the percentage reduction in greenhouse gas emissions through the use of Avient products? Have you actually calculated that at all?
Yeah, I mean, we can calculate the carbon footprint equivalent emission of any, let's say, color and additive from our portfolio and the one used by our customer. And after, we can propose solution to decrease the emission if the customer wants to lower the impact from this portfolio. This is really a case-by-case evaluation, I would say.
Right. Okay, that's fair enough. But so customers will be able to ask you what the likely impact is, and you will be able to give them a forecast, will you?
We can give some insight on how to decrease indeed, yeah.
Right. Okay, that's great. That's fine. Scott, now even if the development for preform inspection with Husky cannot yet be presented, which you did say, can you give us a rough idea? Now you say it has to do with sustainability. Is it really being kept sort of top secret between now and NPE itself?
Well, I mean, what I'll share is the key inspection criteria for preforms related to our PET is contamination and color. You know, as Sandrine mentioned, the importance of color and monitoring that. That's about what I can share.
Right. Okay. Well, just enough to excite our taste buds, I suppose you could say, and those who are attending will be looking forward very much to finding out what it's about. Okay, I'm going to have to call a halt to this now because we have run out of time. We're just right up against the deadline, I'm afraid. Now, I will also invite people to come and see us at the PETplanet Insider booth, which is in South Hall, Level 1, Bottle Zone. How surprising. Now it's very close to the presenting stage, S12107. Thanks everybody for participating. Thank you especially to our presenters, to Damaris, who's had to leave already. She got another thing to get on to Scott, who's got up very early to come and present. Thank you very much indeed, Scott. To Sandrine and to Paolo. It's been a pleasure to meet all of you.
Thank you.
Paolo again, and I look forward to meeting you all again in the not too distant. So thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, and goodbye, good afternoon,
Thank you.
good morning, good night, whatever it is.
Thank you.